Dan hit it right on the head in terms of the biggest challenge that we face with a bill like this. And that is there's so many people who are clamoring for their little piece of the pie, that the pieces of the pie are all really small. And because there's no requirement for asset management plans and the structured approach to asset management, a lot of times it's the squeakiest of the wheels that gets some little dribble of money, and it's not enough to really, even if they had a good asset management plan and they knew the ideal way to spend the money, that the amount of money they're likely to get is not going to be sufficient. It's just, there are too many different little, little bird mouths open for their individual crumbs. And so it's kind of doomed. It's not doomed, but it's challenged from the start in terms of not thinking about that at the beginning and not trying to focus your attention on, the biggest bang for the buck. It's the most bangs for the buck. And so it's we're structurally challenged in terms of how we even think about putting this money together. And the thing that I find troubling is all the attention is placed on getting the money out, on the new money out, and not on how that new money is spent, but how's the existing money spent? Because we have, hundreds of billions of dollars in the base that's spent every single year, and it's just spent in ways that aren't ideal. And so getting a critical mass of awareness of asset management. And I'm delighted that Sita's on the call, because BUREC is one of the components that within the federal government that appreciates asset management. Corps of Engineers is another, WAPA is another. We've the Air Force. We've got these little centers of asset management awareness within agencies that are doing really good work. And all of them are kind of struggling, or at least most of the ones I know about are kind of struggling to get a broader adoption within their own organizations of asset management principles throughout the organization. Usually these little centers of excellence, they have their own spheres of influence, but they don't tend to be, agency-wide. They're just, they're allowed to do good things within the boundaries that they're given. So the challenge is there's so many challenges. One is helping people like Sita and the folks in the Corps and the folks in other agencies that have got these little cores of asset management excellence, get the principles of asset management brought, more widely adopted within their agencies, and then continuing the work that we in the ALN have been doing to make all people in the federal government aware of what the sort of the bright lights are doing. And so encourage more and more people to see the value of asset management and adopt it. One of the other points I just want to throw in is that it's interesting when you think about, and Dan mentioned the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. The Transportation Infrastructure Committee in the transportation area specifically, more specifically in the state highway program and in the federal transit programs, have required asset management plans of the grantees that are seeking grant funds. And so there's been this awareness of the importance of asset management and the value of asset management in the transportation world for actually quite some time. And in the water world, there's a similar, although less robust, awareness of it. But it's a couple things jump out at me. One, we're eager, or we don't have any problem at all in the federal government of placing requirements on other levels of government. We have big challenges in being willing to place requirements on us that we have to follow. And so that's kind of, that just seems to be an unfortunate fact of life. But I see promising signs out there. I think there is a growing awareness of the benefits of asset management. We just need to accelerate the growth of that awareness. And there's a lot of good practices from around the world that we can acquaint U.S. decision makers with, and that's this other little project that I'm working on.